Hi, this is Julie at Love's Beginning with a blog post called Love's Dance. The five-sense experience tells you that you are housed within a body. When you identify as this body, your happiness seems to depend upon the body's physical comfort, its seeming state of health, its status relative to other bodies, and the level of approval it seems to receive from other bodies. You are spirit. The body is no limit to you. The body experience, however, is a significant distraction from who you are. Who you are is not vulnerable, yet the body experience was made to experience vulnerability. Who you are is beyond comparison, yet the body experience was made to keep you busy comparing separate selves. What was made for the very distracting experience of separation can be used in a story of returning home. Are you willing to turn the trajectory of the story, and therefore of the body, over to true self to run? Whenever you experience a moment of conflict, we encourage you to pause and to find your willingness. Are you willing to allow the character you call you to have its moves and its speech choreographed in a dance that brings the full awareness of love back to all? This is where the idea of mind control can be wielded by ego. Ego would tell you not to give in to a force that wants to take you over. It's too dangerous, ego says. It's safer to preserve autonomy, ego says. Fight, ego says. We wish to remind you that falling under the spell of ego, which you invented, is mind control. The moves of the character, the speech of the character, all is always choreographed. It is choreographed either by your invention of ego or by what you are. To be willing to have the character's moves choreographed by love is simply to be willing to return to your natural state. We remind you that in truth there is nothing but harmony. If you seem to find yourself in the experience of something else, in a world where there can be wars, for example, it is because you invented this very distracting body experience in order to experience a fantasy of autonomy. Harmony is, has been, and always will be your natural state and the natural state of all others. Would you like to show up as a living invitation back to our natural state of joy? You receive a steady input from this five-sense orientation that tells you if you are comfortable or uncomfortable, feeling safe or unsafe, all due to a perception of yourself as a body. All of the input reinforces a notion of yourself as a separate body. With all of this input coming at you for all of time, how can you undo the effects of this body identification? If there is ever any question about how anything can be done, notice that you are identifying as a separate you. Remember true identification, and you will remember that all things are done through you, by you. Instead of fantasizing that a separate you is running things, you will allow a perception of true, unified you running all. Love's dance carries you home. It is a dance of unity and harmony, and there is no separate doing. There is something that can dominate the five-sense experience. The five-sense experience is very much about experiencing life as a separate experiencer. At your invitation, the love you are can override the five-sense experience. Play with this. As you truly are, you are invulnerable and undisturbed, but the five senses would have you believing otherwise. Every time there is a temptation to believe yourself subject to the five senses, find your willingness to have that which is more powerful than the five-sense experience come into play. You are not at the mercy of the character's body, and you are not at the mercy of a world that seems to be coming at you from all sides. When you feel tempted to perceive in this way, go in. Go in and take a moment at the altar of true self. Ask to have your mind cleared. Ask to be shown what is real. Find your intention to perform love's dance, to have the character and the body be used in an enactment transcending the five-sense experience. We love you eternally, and it is our great joy to dance with you. Thanks for listening.